Hey, everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Fantasy Football Expo podcast series, highlighting all of our exhibitors, sponsors, and all the people who are all about making what the 2024 Expo is. And today, guess what? We got some more rookies, man, and this is what I love. The newbies coming to town. We love it. It just means that more people are excited, more people are hearing about the Expo, and they're excited to come share their new podcast, brand, product, whatever the case may be. And we've got two very good friends that kind of are combining for a booth number 35 this year. We got Alex with Dynasty Football Key and TD with Fantasy Good Sports. Gentlemen, welcome. I'll let whoever wants to start say, who you are, what you're about, and where you're coming from. A lot of people like to know where everybody lives so they can maybe meet up at some other time, especially if you're doing Scott Fish Bowl live drafts. Which you guys might be doing. I know I'm doing it in Cincinnati, so you might make some new friends right now before you even get to that point. So, gentlemen, thanks for coming.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, thanks for having us, Bob. My name is Alex with Dynasty Football Key, and I actually just started making content this year in January. Pretty much around Super Bowl time, and man, I've just always had a really big passion for fantasy football. So, wanted to just see how I could continue to share more and get more people into the game and just more educated about the game. So I've been having a lot of fun making content, and I feel like, doing all of this in the off season has been really good to just try to continue to stay ahead of what's going on in Dynasty, even more than I already had been. So without even making content into the regular season, I'm already more passionate than ever. So really excited. I am going to be in the Scott Fish Bowl for the first time this year, so I'm also excited about that. And so I'm based out of Dallas, but it's in Denver. So I had won a entry from Football Guys, actually.
Cool.
Talked to Alfredo Brown and won that through a contest that they had. And I believe Dave Kluge is going to be at that event. So it'd be good to
you're going to
there.
The live draft in Denver then.
Yeah.
Oh, so sweet. There you go. All right.
Yeah. So
no reason to stay around town. You know what Dallas is like. Let's go someplace different.
Yeah, man. So I'm excited for this year.
Awesome. All right, TD, tell us about you.
So yes, I do redraft and I do dynasty content too, but I'm mostly redraft. I've been doing fantasy football for about 3 years now. Nice. I have almost 3,000 subscribers. I'm growing.
That's awesome.
I've been playing and been around football for over 25 years. And so when I started doing my YouTube channel, it was kind of second nature. I had to learn how to do the content, right? The content thing. So I seen Alex pop in on a couple of my lives, and we would do he came in on a mock draft this year. And so after the live was over, we just started talking about some things, and he was talking about, we should get together and do some content together. And we started doing some content together, and we came up with this rookie model called the Phenom Finder. I'm also from North Carolina. I've been in the Scott Fish Bowl. This will be my third year.
Nice.
I came in top 1,000 last year. I think I was in.
All right, there you go.
That's I was on Sleeper, the Sleeper app. Yeah. I wasn't on the. I was doing it when it started on the MFL app.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I'm excited about it. I love the Scott Fish Bowl. Hopefully, I want to win this thing.
There you go. Yeah. So, and are you attending any live drafts down there?
I don't know. I don't know. It just depends on the time schedule, but I know I've met a lot of people that follow me that I know. I met them through just like the 12 guys that was in my league. And a couple of us was from the North Carolina area. So who knows? If the timing is right, I will definitely try to do a live draft. I think the local one might be in Raleigh this year.
Okay. I was going to say, I didn't know if it'd be Charlotte, Raleigh, or whatever. They some of the bigger states move around, like Ohio. We go from Canton to Cleveland to Cincinnati to Columbus. So we kind of rotate just to keep everybody happy in that. But no, cool. Hopefully you make it to one of the live ones. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for that. So let's take a step back in history for both of you. Let's talk about how you guys got into fantasy football, whether your dad or your friends or whatever. What year did you get started? I know you said 3 years and you've already kind of mentioned that, but talk about who got you in and how your first year went. It's funny. So many people first year win their league. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. But whoever wants to start, I'll let you guys start. But talk about, who and how you got into fantasy football in the first place.
Yeah, man. So I did win my first year. Yeah,
There you go. See, it's amazing.
Maybe that sparked something in you because we all like to compete.
Yeah.
And the problem though was I started in the 8-team league, and no one gave me any credit for that league for winning that 8-team league. So then we expanded to 10-team. Then I expanded to 12-team. Now I'm in Dynasty, but then I'm doing all this research, and I'm like, how do I? Like, what do I even do with all this? I'm just in so many different leagues, and then I know all the players, and so it kind of led to me really wanting to just share a lot of the knowledge that I have, because I love the takes that people can have, because and one of the reasons I gravitated toward TD is he would put out a take and he would stand on it, and a lot of them were hitting, but that's not even the point. It's just the reason that you're going to have sports betting at the event this year, is because people like to be able to say, I believe this is going to happen, and I'm willing to bet money that it's going to happen. And I like that we can all have an opinion about something that we really care about. And it's been fun. And I love just trying to win my leagues. And I'm helping my league mates because they can snipe all my picks. So, it is what it is.
I'd say I write my own book. They could all just read my book and they know who I'm going to pick, right? It seems not fair, but it is. No, it's all good. TD, what about you?
So I've been wanting to get in doing football for as a career after high school and a little bit of college, and I couldn't find anything to get in outside of being a scout. And I didn't have YouTube. I'm not a social media guy. And somebody said, man, check this out, check this podcast out. And I started listening to him, and he's like, yeah, man, you should join my league. And I joined the league, and I didn't win it. I missed the playoffs. But I had fun. And then some of the content that I was listening to on YouTube, I'm like, I can do this. So I started a channel, and I basically got to express myself for the skill set that I felt like I had to be a scout, because that's what I wanted to do. And I'm like, this is even better than being a scout. I can be in my own home talking about guys. And I was a Cowboy fan, and man, fantasy football kind of took away me of the fandom that I had for my Cowboys. Now I'm into the players. I'm not really into, I love my Cowboys, but players that I'm drafting is more important than my Cowboys winning. I hate to say that. Sorry, that was Cowboy fans.
I'm a Browns fan, so it was really easy for me.
Right. right. So yeah, that's how I got in. That was about 3 years ago, and I've been having fun and making takes and finding guys like Alex, and I'm just trying to grow my channel.
Cool. No, I love it. Love it for both of you. That's and that's how a lot of people get started. Just hey, you know what, I can do this, and get out there and work hard at it, put the grind in, and all comes to fruition. So TD, you kind of expounded already on how you kind of took fantasy into now this fantasy good sports. Talk about that. You've got a podcast. What else do you have out there? Talk a little bit more about the Phenom Finder. That intrigues me. I don't play in a lot of Dynasty because, I'm all about consistency, and rookies usually don't have much. But I do play in a few of them. So I'm always interested in finding, some new tools. Talk about the Phenom Finder that you got going on there.
Right. So, like I said, it's being a natural scout, because I coach Little League and I coach AAU football. Okay. I always like to go and scout players and do their measurables. And so I actually started using it for fantasy football, and it's starting having a hit rate. And so I didn't really want to market it. I just thought I would just keep it to myself. And then I started, talking to Alex, and he's brilliant with numbers. And he was like, listen, man, you should use this. This will help your channel, instead of you just taking a take and saying, I like this player just because I like the way he look on tape. If you got some data, it could be like a Matt Harmon perception reception thing. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. So me and him got together, and we put our heads together, and we came up with this model with this number thing where we are measuring players. Okay. And we went back with the data from maybe 2 to 3 years ago, and players that was scoring high was doing really well in fantasy football and also in real football. So we came together, we started a Patreon together, and we just probably about a month ago, maybe a little bit over a month ago, and we've been trying to market it, and I think it's doing well. As far as the guys that are being picked high in the draft, they was high on our Phenom Finder list. And Alex, he got, he's done a lot of the research more than me. I just kind of had the algorithm, but Alex can explain a little bit more on that.
Okay. All right. Well, perfect segue. Alex, talk about that and talk about, how that all comes together, how you guys kind of make these decisions on these players, the data and everything required to put that out there. Sounds really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we gave ourselves a deadline before the NFL draft because we didn't want, as a new product, it to even seem like it was related to, all right, now that we have the draft information, this is what our findings are. We were making sure we got it out before then. And so it's based on, stuff from the players from when they're in college. So even though we have currently data going back to 2014, and we're able to see how those guys were able to do, the top 12 of each position, how are they able to finish, and what was some patterns that we were seeing in their profiles coming up. And, we were able to use some of the scouting information that TD's gotten over the years from working in that space and be able to see, okay, if we're able to combine the right, measurables, then we're able to see some production from these guys, and we're able to see, hey, this is not only someone that we think will get drafted in a good position, but it's also someone that will later be able to get an opportunity, which in fantasy football and football in general, opportunity is king. And, we just don't know that before we get these guys. So, and before they're even on the teams, but we are able to have a lot of the highly first rounders, like a Ricky Pearsall was way up there, and I didn't even think he was going to be a first rounder, but he's testing up in really high places. But it's not even just this year. TD was really early on, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, based on some of the stuff that we're seeing with the Phenom Finder. Even like the Nico Collins, a guy who, a lot of people were ready to trade away before the CJ Stroud thing happened. He's only 14 spots behind Calvin Johnson. This is a guy who can play. And, these are like, this is all about having those stashes and guys that have a chance to really blow up later.
In your thing, are you not only looking at the player as a talent, are you also looking at the landing spot? Because, I always look at, Jackson Smith-Njigba, who is very talented, great wide receiver at Ohio State, but is buried behind DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Now, maybe Lockett moves on after this year. I think his contract's up, but is it guys like that you pinpoint and go, hey, if you can get him, now's the time to get him, because we do see that coming. And have you seen that coming with some other players you guys have done?
Yeah, so we are not doing it based on landing spot. Again, that's why we wanted to get it out before the draft, but we are factoring that in. Everything you want to take in as, a piece to the puzzle. So,
sure.
For us, a guy who is buried on a depth chart, if they have a high rating, that means we're not going to give up on them, because we know that there are other data that other fantasy experts have found that, hey, after the first year, if you pull a Jackson Smith-Njigba and don't produce, then, it's time to get written off type of thing.
No, and I certainly have seen that. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay, wow, he stinks because, he's not getting any playing time, but,
Yeah, exactly. So no, we definitely don't want to write anyone off. And also, I think for like running backs, for example, those are the guys who are just, there's only one running back on the field at a time. So these are the guys where you do have to say, regardless of if you're the RB4 on the Denver Broncos and your name is Blake Watson, I'm not going to give up on you because this guy is a phenom.
Right. It's a lot about it's stashing. Mostly, that's the most important part. But we all know that Jamar Chase was going to be great. Of course, Jamar Chase scored high on this. But if it's guys that like Nico Collins, who we like, well, he ain't that good. He ain't done that for 2 years. So instead of dropping him and trading him, if he scores high on the Phenom Finder, we telling you, listen, hold on to this player before you drop him. That's how we want you to use it as a tool. We don't want to tell you who to draft and who you should have. We just wanted to say, let's look at this data, and if you like it, then maybe you might want to hold on to this to keep this guy, right? It might be the breaking point of why you want to cut a guy or trade him.
No, I think that's great. And I will certainly be reaching out to you guys when I start to look at my Dynasty drafts this summer. And everybody else should too. So make sure you guys check those guys out. No, great stuff. We'll definitely looks like you have something. You got something to say?
Patreon.com/Finder.
Right.
That's where they can find it.
There's
but even a guy like Nico Collins, Michigan, they don't feature those wide receivers, right?
Correct.
So that's one of those things where you may not get to see that type of a player emerge, but there's another Michigan guy in like a Roman Wilson. Maybe you want to know where he lands on the Phenom Finder type of thing.
Right. Even Tyreek Hill. I remember when Tyreek Hill. I done this with Tyreek Hill. He came out of college playing running back, but he scored so high on the Phenom Finder. I'm like, this guy's gonna be amazing. I didn't know that Andy Reid was gonna put him at wide receiver, I wasn't predicting that. But he scored high, and everything worked out. Now, sometimes you have guys that score high that they never really get the opportunity, and we know how that happens, right? We see that plenty of times. Like Jackson Smith and Jigba. Hopefully, Tyler Lockett goes on. He can go get his opportunity. But if they sign Tyler Lockett to another deal and keep DK, maybe Jackson Smith and Jigba never hit his full potential that we think he can hit,
Right. And it certainly has happened to players in the past.
Right.
And,
correct.
especially if you're in a dynasty, you're like, I'm going to grab this guy now because as soon as this guy, and all of a sudden, the coach has a love fest for this guy and they never give him the opportunity. And by the time he gets traded or goes through free agency, he's 26, 27.
There you go.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But no, great stuff. Great stuff. All right. So you guys are going to be at the Fantasy Football Expo 2024. You got booth 35. So great spot for you guys. Talk about, how did you find out about the Fantasy Football Expo? Did you see it on Twitter? Did somebody tell you? Maybe at the live drafts? Tell me about how you guys found out about it.
Yeah. One of the first guests on one of my shows, which would have been after TD, I believe he was my first guest, but a guy with the FF Dynasty, his name is Big D. He was just off the show. He was telling me, hey, check this out. And so I kind of had that seed in my mind because at the time it was still far away. I think that was back in February. Mm-hmm. And then last month, my wife was like, yeah, have you heard of this FF Expo? And I was like, yeah, I have. So
how did your wife find out about it?
It's 2024, and she found out about it with AI. Actually, she's very supportive of
AI.
Yeah, she's supportive of this channel, and she was like, "All right, typing in Chat GPT, like, what are ways to grow a fantasy channel?" And one of the top ways was this FF Expo, which I had heard about before, but
I've never heard that one. I am so giddy right now. I can't see straight, man.
The AI is onto you, man. So
it's good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
At least it's a good reason to be an AI. Is all right. I don't want to type in, what is Bob Lug? You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
good stuff.
I thought it was a great idea because for me, I'm just looking to grind and kind of cut my teeth in the business. Just, a lot of people put in a lot of hard work to get to wherever they're at in this space, like including both of you fellas. So for me, I'm still just putting out content, trying to get better every single day. And I was like, let's see what's a better way to help me outside of just making more content and go out there, get to meet some people, whether they're in the industry or not. That can only help me and just get the name out there a little bit for Dynasty Football Key. So yeah, I'll have some merch and stuff like that I want to get out. And, gonna actually have my wife with me. So it'll be cool. We'll be out there great. And, get a chance to just keep talking Dynasty. I mean, that's what I've been doing every day. So just gonna take it to the next level.
Love it. All right. TD, did you find out from Alex or did you also type into AI and get it to Bob?
No, actually, I've been knowing about you for about 4 years now. Okay. You came on to I forgot the Apple phones. They did it a long time ago. Like I said, years. Yeah, I can't remember. It was like like Twitter Space. But anyway, I was on there one day. Somebody said, "Hey man, come on! You need to get on here if you want to do content." So I came in the room and Bob was the speaker, and he was talking about right. You a Hall of Famer, right, Bob?
No. That's Bob Harris.
Okay. I thought you was a Hall of Famer too. Okay.
No.
But Bob, I don't know if he was in there, but I know they was talking about how
Bob Harris came to the first expo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's been at all of them. So yeah.
Okay.
So it's probably Bob Harris. I'm like, yeah, I don't remember.
Okay, my bad. I'm sorry.
No, I'm good. Yeah.
Right. But and you were just talking about how maybe back in the day when you had to keep score on paper.
Oh yeah, I did do that. Yes.
Right. Yeah. You said like I was playing fantasy back when you had to write down everybody you drafted, and I had to have 2 days to accumulate the points.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. So that's like old school fantasy football. Yeah. So yeah, I've been knowing about you for about 4 years, and I had a couple of friends that went to the expo and they loved it.
Cool.
Awesome. You know, they a little bit closer on from Minnesota, so it's a little bit easier for me. So to me, it's about timing. I needed the timing to get. I definitely want to go, and it's going to kind of be hard for me to go this year. So Alex invited me, but I just got to work out my schedule with my job. Okay. So I did want to say that. But yeah, I've been I heard about the expo for like the last 3 or 4 years. I got a friend actually that's from the Fantasy Football Headliners, and they showed up and they said they had a ball. They played football. They played flag football. And
stuff we have a flag football tournament. Yeah. So it's a good time. So cool. Right. Before we get into what you guys have planned for your booth and coming to the expo, do you guys have any questions for me as newbies coming to this event that maybe you haven't thought about or you just thought about? I know I kind of prompted you guys before we got started. Any questions for me about the expo? Anything? There's no.
Yeah, I wanted to start.
You could hit me with one, but.
Yeah, I was curious. Yeah, as someone who's going to have a booth, man, it's going to be my first time there. It would have been cool to also explore a little bit how much. I mean, this is kind of just for me to know, and maybe other people that are hosting a booth. How much time is there to check out what other people got going on?
Well, I mean, it's tough when it's just 2 of you at a booth because there's 2 of you. But usually what happens is one guy goes off and walks around. I mean, the booths are all very close together, so it doesn't take a long time. Plus, you have so many booths around you. You kind of so there's 3 sections in the booth area. It's the VIPs you walk through, then you go to section 2, and there's a bunch of it's in a big circle, kind of a circle of ones, and then you kind of walk through a little walkway, and then there's the next circle. But there's 20 other booths around you that you can see and view just from where you're standing. So you'll be able to see that. The great thing this year, of course, we'll have both the sports betting Saturday for 4 hours from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, and then the fantasy football version on Sunday from 10 to 4. So you have like 4 hours maybe on Saturday to get. That might be the best time for you guys to walk around, see the other booths, chat with them. I'm not saying it's going to be less busy because it's new, it's hard to tell. But we know Sunday will be jam packed. But it's still, you have time, So you should be able to walk around, and plus you're going to meet these people all weekend. The Friday party, Saturday party. Yeah, there's so many. Social time that you get to kind of chat and meet people. Then you'll see them at the expo and see what booth they're at, or ask them. Heck, they might be right beside you. You never know. So there's certainly time to walk around and shake hands, kiss babies, make new friends, that kind of cool stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
So my question would be, what would be your advice as 2 young early starting channels that's trying to grow their brand? How should we market our brand at the expo? Should we say, hey, subscribe to us? Or should we say, check this out? Should we show, what would you say that we should put?
I think the best thing to do would probably create a business card or a small card. It can be a little bit bigger than a business card. And like I said, I think it would be what may be cost effective, since you guys are kind of a team,
right?
Is to put each one of you on each side.
Okay.
What you're about, what Alex is about.
Okay.
All your social medias, all your whatever you do, whenever you do it. And then, make a lot of those, give them to me. I'll put them in the swag bags. But then, as you're meeting a Bob Harris or a Marcus Grant or, one of these guys, hey, how you doing? Marcus, big fan of yours. I've followed you for years. I'm doing my own thing. Here's my card. I'd love to have you on a podcast. That's what the really cool is, that you can get almost any of these people to come on your podcast, where a lot of people always used to think, oh, I can't, Marcus Grant works for NFL Network. There's no way. And it's like, no, he will. He's a super cool dude. Okay. Everybody always wants to support, especially new folks like you. Alex, there's tons of Dynasty people, the Dynasty nerds, Rich Stotts and his group, DLF, Ryan McDowell and Eric Dickens, all those guys are there. So there's so many people that have that years of experience that you can talk to, exchange cards, reach out to them, follow them on Twitter. That's the best thing to do, because that's what it's all about. It's making new friends, and then, they get you on one, and then you're on theirs. And then, next thing you know, you've got, more followers, more people. Cause like, oh, wow, Marcus Grant came on your show. Okay. You're a big deal, or Ryan McDowell came on your Dynasty show. That's a big deal. Those are big names in the industry. So, and if you're really bored, you can have me come on. Yeah.
Right.
But we can talk about the consistency guide. It's that's what I recommend. Just, don't be shy. Don't think anybody is going to poo-poo you because you're, new in the industry. That's the far from it. They would love to meet you. And, they get bored talking to me. They know me, Marcus talked to me for years. They don't need to talk to me. He just talk to you folks. So, just, you guys seem to have personalities for it. So I think you guys will do just fine.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. So talk about your booth. What do you guys got planned? Any cool giveaways, engagement ideas, things that are you still thinking about it?
Yeah, definitely still thinking about it. I wanted to get like some sort of like wristband type of thing, and you had mentioned having the business card, because originally I was going to have QR codes to make it easy to find.
Yeah, and that is too.
Yeah, but then I was thinking, I could have like a code on each side of it, or something like that. So definitely work on those. Working on a banner for the backdrop.
Yeah,
and even though I know you have some good like suppliers and stuff on the website, so definitely shout out to you. Like, a lot of good resources. They already got the hotel booked and stuff.
Cool.
But wanting to make it to where people can come up and have a good time. We can talk some Dynasty. I know like kids will be there, so I want to have like just something for them. So still trying to think of just something like kind of cool for them. And still playing in it out, to be totally honest. So I think it'll be good though. I'll be very present, so not doing any sort of content while I'm there. So just looking to meet as many people as possible.
Right. We'll probably give away. I got a draft guide, so maybe I give away do some giveways, like maybe some drawings.
Yeah, drawings. A lot of people, whether it's put your business card or fill out a piece of paper, whatever you can do, and then people give away anything from autographed mini helmets to jerseys to T-shirts to whatever, and and everybody loves free stuff, so it doesn't matter what you give away. Everybody's going to take them.
Right.
So. Some good ideas. Yeah, we'll have to work on a giveaway. So, hey, maybe we've been keeping it under wraps. The Phenom Finder. Maybe somebody, a lucky person, get one of those.
Right. Maybe we get one or two of those away. Because
and sometimes people will give away like a free year of their Patreon site.
Right.
Or 3 months or a free month or whatever. Maybe do that on your business card with your QR code or something. Click here and it'll take you and give you a free month, and people can check you out. It would be perfect time for draft time. And, people really, people love that kind of stuff. A pen is a pen, but when it comes right down to it, I want to be better at my draft, and I can get a pen anywhere.
Of course. Right.
Yes. Cool stuff. Well, all right, gentlemen. Well, thank you again for being a part of the show. We're looking forward to introducing you to the public and letting everybody know, all about your guys' Phenom Finder and all the great stuff at Fantasy Good Sports and Dynasty Football Key. So, Alex, I'll let you go first. Tell them where they can find you and your stuff, and then we'll go to TD, and then we'll take it out from there.
Yeah, thanks again for having us, Bob. And you can find all of my stuff on YouTube at Dynasty Football Key, but also am on Twitter at Dynasty F Key, and also post on Spotify for those that listen over there. And I've got my own Patreon with the same name, but right now we're mainly focused on the Phenom Finder. So looking forward to seeing folks out there in Canton. And, also really excited to go to the Hall of Fame for the first time as well. So it should be a really fun event. And, just looking forward to this 2024 season, see how some of these takes pan out.
Love it. Love it. TD, tell everybody where they can find you.
So, guys, I'm on every single social media that you can find. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. It's Fantasy Good Sports, no space. What you see on your screen right now, just type that in. You can find me. I do a lot of mock drafts. I do a lot of things engaging my audience. So you make sure that you subscribe to the channel and follow me. And I'm always giving content, cutting edge content. That's what I always say is cutting edge content.
Cool. Love it. All right. Of course, you can all follow me at Bob_Lung on Twitter, at the FF Expo on Twitter for the Expo. If you have not got your tickets, get them soon because price goes up $10 June 1st. Make sure you get those now before that price jumps up again. So once again, for Alex, for TD, I'm Bob Lung. Everybody take care. God bless. See you at the Expo. Talk to you soon.
Peace.